Hello, everyone. Welcome to Yoga and Movement for Your Back. You're here. You said yes to this time. Good job. Yay for you. Yay for me. Yay for us for having a little time to tend to our back. So, we will need a strap of some sort. You could use a resistance band. You could use a yoga strap. If you have a block or something to rest your head on, that could be handy as well. We're going to get right into this practice. If you have a little extra time, I would encourage you to pause this and try out the breath work for your back first and then come back and meet me here. But if you got time to move and that's all you got, then it's perfect. Again, yay, celebrating you for taking some time today. We're going to start in a tabletop position. Classic cat-cow, time and time again. It's so good. So we move our spine. Let's begin. So nose breath throughout the whole practice. Moving from the tailbone out through the crown of the head, we take that forward bend and our back bend. So I like to think of this sort of hollowing cat position as hollowing out through the front of your body. And you can think of sinking the chest and the ribs and the navel downward toward the floor as the arms stay straight to take that back bend. And a few more times like this, just in that feel-good way, as much of that back bend as feels appropriate, nutritious for your back, and as much as that stretch and that sort of puffing up the upper back, middle back, and that hollowing out as feels good for you. Excellent. From here, we're going to shift into a child's pose. Tops of the feet can be down or your toes can be curled under. You decide. You could try both and see, again, which feels most appropriate for how your back is feeling today. From our breathwork practice, I want you to remember that light, slow, deep breath in and out of your nose. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll encourage you to go to that class right now or after this practice. So you find that child's pose shape where your bum can be toward your heels. I want you to really experiment, where are those arms? So your upper back and your lower back can actually relax, and also your head shape. You don't always have to have the forehead down. You could turn one cheek to the side. Let's take 2 more breath cycles, our LSD breath. Excellent. Let's come on to hands and knees. Find that tabletop position. From here, we're going to extend our right leg out long. Have your toes on the ground. Left arm out long. And then option to lift that right leg or keep the toes down depending on kind of what that feels like for core and back. Try to have your hip bones, your hip points pointing straight down. Left arm reaching long, right leg reaching way far back. Trying not to collapse through the belly, but keep lifting your rib cage and low belly away from the ground. 1 more breath cycle. Excellent. Right toes go down, left hand goes down, and shift into your other side. So we start with that left leg reaching long. Right arm reaching out in front, same options. Left toes can stay down for as long as you need. We can experiment with lifting that left leg up without taking the back bend. Can we stay as neutral as possible through the trunk, through the neck, through the crown of the head? Excellent. Toes come down if they were lifted. Right hand goes down. Nice job. Another cat-cow right here. And cat-cow is going to bring us all the way down onto our belly. So let's start on our forearms. Walk your knees back. And then those thighs are going to come down to the floor. Spin your elbows wide. And rest one cheek to the floor or your hands. Or you can bring your forehead down onto your hands. Take your legs out a little bit wider. Spiral your big toes downward toward the ground. See how your lower back and hips respond. And then spiral your more pressure toward your big toe, the top of the big toe. Notice if any sensations change in your bum or your back. I'm just going to have you choose one of those two shapes while we're resting here for your legs to stay in. I notice that sense of expansion into low belly and side waist as you breathe in. Notice how maybe a little bit more of your body weight sinks into the ground as you exhale out of the nose. Good. We're going to come up onto our forearms. Elbows underneath those shoulders. So into our Sphinx pose. Remember, intention with choosing your leg position, that spiral of your legs, what feels better for you. And then we set up our Sphinx. We're coming to this upper back bend. Might need to be low for today, right? Depending on how your lower back is feeling. In order to keep it a little bit lower, your elbows will be farther forward. In order for this back bend to come a little higher, our elbows can be closer towards our hip bones. So you find that perfect spot, and then we're going to move our shoulder blades a bit. So I want you to let your chest sink down so the shoulder blades come toward one another. And then we'll push those shoulder blades away from one another and slightly down the back to come into the Sphinx. Gaze slightly forward. Send your tailbone toward your heels, so there's a little bit of an active lift into that lower back. And let's try 3 slow breaths. Again, a moment, I'll invite you in. I like to have these little mini celebration moments that you're here, that you're continuing to stay here and practice when, right, all the other things, all the other to-dos could potentially be calling your attention, and you're saying yes to this moment, to this practice, to tending to your back and your spine and your core and your breath. I think it's truly something to celebrate within all of our full lives. Very nice. Let's slowly start to release down. Down, 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 down. Again, we can bring one cheek to the side or rest your forehead on your hands. See if you can relax through your legs and bum. Option to come into your Sphinx pose one more time. Or we take a subtle, very low cobra, hands either side of the chest. Similar intention with your legs. Now hands either side of the chest, shoulder blades drawing down the back for the cobra. Same, very similar, right, from the Sphinx, but we use those hands rather than our forearms to have that lift into our upper back. Elbows are gently pulling in toward the side ribs. Gaze is down. Excellent. Let's all release. Press back into your child's pose. Make sure your lower back is very rounded. So I think of tucking the bum even a little bit more than we were in that cat-cow position. And a gentle release of the bum toward the heels as the arms keep reaching forward and the weight of the head is down. Excellent. Let's come on to hands and knees. We shift the feet over to one side. Be gentle, 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 coming down onto your bum and then onto your back we go. Let's bring something underneath the head to support here and have your strap or band handy. So we lay down onto the back. Something is underneath your head if you want that. Knees are hugging into your chest. Start to circle through your ankles. Those hands are helping to pull the knees and the thighs in towards you. Good. Excellent. Let's bring the hands onto the knees and we'll take these slow circles for the thighs. So the knees are going to go wide. The knees come back in towards you. The knees push forward and then out wide again. Another circle like this. So the knees are supported by your hands. Hands are kind of drawing those circles. And we're letting our spine go along for the ride. Good, go the opposite direction. Excellent. Let's bring both feet down to the ground. And we're going to take that strap around your right foot. We're going to lift that right foot straight up to the sky and flex through your ankles. So that means your toes are coming towards your face. The heel is reaching way up toward the sky. I want your knee to be as straight as possible so your shape could look very different than mine, right? Depending on lots of factors. How straight that knee can get, number one, and then how lifted that leg can come towards you with the knee straight, extended. Holding that stretch. So left foot is grounded. Right now, our lower back and middle back can be touching the ground. Excellent. We're going to release that strap. So let's take the foot down. We're going to cross that right ankle over your left thigh. And start a really gentle rock of your hips side to side. So your hips and lower back are gently swaying side to side, right to left. And then we're going to shift the bum over to your right side and let the weight of the legs drift over to your left side. So see if the legs can stay in the same shape that they're in. And then the legs drift over all the way to the left. And we take that left hand onto our right leg and support that leg either coming in towards you or pushing that leg away from you, depending on what you're feeling in that right hip and glute. And if the legs do not come all the way over to that left side, I want you to stay lifted and have that gentle sway of your hips and legs side to side until you feel like coming into a still shape. Good. Let's take a few more breaths right here. Great. Let's bring the legs back to center. Nice job. Spine, bum, everything comes to the center. We release that right leg all the way down to the floor. Let the weight of the leg fully relax. Good. Give a bounce to that knee up and down. Gentle, gentle a few times. And then we'll try that, of course, on the left side. So let's bend that right knee. Bring that strap around your left foot. Extend that leg up. Find that perfect amount of stretch through this leg. For now, again, middle back, lower back can be touching the ground. Heel reaching up toward the sky, toes toward the face. If you know of a different pelvis position, kind of lower back position, while maintaining this leg stretch that feels right for you, you've been advised to do, feel free to find that, of course, right? We each have our own knowledge. Strap sometimes slips off of the foot. So we can come back. So I was saying, I truly believe, I know to be true, that we each have our own knowledge, our own body knowledge, and of course that which we've been advised to do that is specifically, unique to you. So my cues as invitations, you've given yourself this time to experiment with and enjoy taking care of this back through stretch and breath and awareness. So feel free to make adjustments often or as needed, depending on what feels right and what you know to be true. Excellent. Let's release. We'll take that left ankle over right thigh. Strap goes to the side. We'll start to shift our legs side to side like we did on side one. So much of that rocking that we can increase that sense of stretch for our left side by shifting the bum over to the left and letting the weight of the legs drop over to the right. Remember that variation. You can stay in the drifting and the gentle twisting, or you can find a shape to rest into. Remember the breath pattern and the way of breathing that is best for our core and back health from our breathwork practice. This awareness now of your spine supported, your body is supported by the floor, your back supported, you supporting the health and vitality of your body by practicing today. Know that to be true. Notice how you can believe that perhaps by what you're feeling, sensations in your body, sense of circulation, tension and release. Maybe there's a experience of some different internal state, subtle shifts as we continue here together. Excellent. Let's bring it back to center. Nice job. Be mindful of gently bringing that left leg down to the ground. Let the weight of the leg fully relax. Give a gentle bounce of that left knee up and down. Let's close our practice today. A couple mindful breaths, a little bit of rest. Let's place the block, or whatever you have, in between the legs. Take your feet wide and let your thighs fall into whatever prop you have. A gentle press of your lower back and middle back into the floor. Arms in an easy shape. Let's end our practice with a couple balanced breaths, our 5.5 second count in and out. Counting your breath, one more cycle, 5.5 in, 5.5 out. Let your spine rest. Release that block or whatever prop you have in between your legs. Hug your knees into your chest. So encouraging you to continue with our meditation for our back practice, or shift into our breath work for back practice. Thank you so much for being here with me today. We'll see you there.